Welcome back to my garage. I'm Joe. I'll be your host for today's show. Today's show topic is caulk. There are all types of caulk: silicone caulk, glues and adhesives, painter's caulk. You got landscape caulk and concrete, fixing cracks and such. So now we all know the age-old story, right? You walk into your local home store, your Home Depots, your Lowe's, your mom and pop hardware store, and you ask somebody working there, and they say, you ask them, where could I find some silicone, or where can I find some painter's caulk, and they'll send you to the appropriate aisle. Now in Home Depot and Lowe's, it's a crapshoot. They may send you to gardening. They always seem to send you to gardening, no matter what you're looking for, and it's never there anyway. But that's besides the point. Uh, but you go into these stores, right? Say you go into your Lowe's or your Home Depot or your super home center, right? You you asked for the caulking aisle, right? You get down to the caulking aisle and you look at this big display, right? Probably 30 feet long, from the floor 10, 15 feet high, of just tubes of caulk, glues, adhesives, silicones, and you're overwhelmed. Everybody's overwhelmed. I've done it. I've seen guys stand in front of that wall for 15, 20 minutes, pick up a tube, put it back, walk over, pick up another tube. They don't know what they're looking at, what they want. Different prices on stuff, different brands, different colors, just confused. So my job, because I've done it and I know what these things are. My job is to help people, right? So help people figure out what they need for what project they want, so they don't stand in the aisle of Home Depot or Lowe's dumbfounded for 35 minutes, or bring over the person that's supposed to know in the store to tell you that they don't know what the hell they're talking about either. So today we're going to talk about caulk. I'm going to show you some stuff. I went to the local home store. I bought a bunch of caulk, a bunch of adhesives, and I'm going to show you which everyone does, with the languages on these tubes. Maybe this could help people do their own home projects. You got a caulk molding, we'll get the right product for that. You want to glue stuff together, we'll get the right product for that. You got exterior stuff, you got water issues outside your house, your windows are leaking, something's leaking, we'll get you the right silicones. So, and that's today's show's topic. All right, so let's get started. So there we go. So, like I said, I went to our local home store. You see the name on the bag. I'm not going to plug them. And I went and bought all this stuff. All right, we got all different types of tubes. And we're going to go through every one of them, and I'm going to help you um, know what's the right product for your project. We got bigger tubes for a bigger gun. We got uh, some adhesives. We got all types of caulk. All right. So, but we're going to go through every one of them, and I'm going to help you. I may even do a little tutorial on how to caulk a joint, how to caulk molding, how to cut the tubes open, how to, all that stuff. And we'll save our receipts for later. All right. So, first of all, we um, let's go through the list, right? So let's start with our silicones, right? So let's see what we got here. This is silicone right here. Move everything else out of the way. And here we go. So this is silicone, right? This is clear silicone made by GE. GE is probably the best brand for silicone, in my opinion. They've been around forever. It's it's a good quality silicone. Never had any issues with it. It dries pretty fast and doesn't dry too quick, to where while you're applying it, you mess something up and now it's solid. But so this is clear. That's clear silicone. If you can see, that's clear. Uh, Now silicones usually you use to keep water out. All right. So this one says window and door projects. So if you got to caulk your windows leaking or something, or you have a door that's leaking, you'd buy this product, right? So uh, This stuff comes in many different colors. Comes in white. Like I said, this is clear. Comes in browns, tans, black. If you got to match your capping, your capping could be white. You get a white silicone, right? So um, don't confuse this with painter's caulk, which is not a silicone-based product. So that's it, silicone. Um, so that's that. Okay, there's a silicone. Next we have your most common. What do we have? Oh, glues and adhesives. So there are many types of glues and adhesives. You're gonna look in that. You're gonna go to that aisle and you're gonna look, and there's gonna be millions of tubes, all different colors. There's only a few you really need, right? So this is liquid nail. Now, liquid nail's been around forever, right? Your father installed this probably. Like this stuff has been around for 100 years, right? This was probably the original adhesive for a caulking gun. You know, they've been around forever. Even the tube looks pretty much the same. You know, colors may have changed. The the type and the name has never changed. It's it's always recognizable in the store. So this says projects, strong durable bond, bonds most common building materials. Bonds bond remains flexible. Okay, so I was taught that liquid nail was usually for wood. You know, um, you want to glue two pieces of wood together, you would use this. So this says bonds to wood, cardboard, drywall, uh, hardboard paneling, particle board, treated lumber, and more. So I would say it's mostly a wood product. It will glue anything to sheetrock, so that's definitely accurate. Um, so what they used this for back in the day a lot was to glue subflooring. Now, if you ever walked around an old house, right, and you walked, across the hallway, you had hardwood floors, and you heard squeaking, that was your subfloor. Uh, they were usually nailed. Subfloor boards were usually nailed back in the day, but they very seldom were glued. Now, today, if you're putting down a subfloor in your house, you should be gluing it. Now we have screws. Back then, we used a lot of nails, but today, you would screw your subfloor. But screws will also back themselves out a little bit, and you could get squeaks. So when installing a subfloor, what most builders do, I mean, some cut corners, as we know, but would uh, put a bead of this or an equal product. Like I said, there's tons of brands making this subfloor type of stuff. Put a bead on your joists. Put a bead on your. Let me get a piece of wood to show you. So let's see. Let's say this is your subfloor, right? Or these are your joists. Here's one joist. You would have obviously multiple every 16 inches. You'd have a joist. You would put a bead of caulk on your subfloor, right? You would take, let's say this was a sheet of plywood. Back in the day, they used boards for subfloor. They would use like a 5/4 by 8-inch board, and they would do that. We don't do that anymore. Now it's all plywood or MDF and stuff. Usually plywood is the best, 3/4. So you would put a bead on there. You would uh, put down your subfloor, and then you would nail it. Back in the day, we screw our subfloor. But what that does is, if your screws or your nails give up over time or back out over time, and create a gap in between your subfloor, it won't squeak because the glue will be there and would have bonded and made it solid that it wouldn't squeak. With long term traffic, walking traffic. So that's that. So there's your liquid nail. I'd recommend it. Everybody should have this in their house. If they're willing to do projects around the house, liquid nail. All right. So this is a Loctite product, right? Now Loctite is another brand. You walk down the aisle, you'll see cases and cases of multiple different Loctite adhesives. Loctite's a very good brand. So I mean, so is liquid nail. Loctite's been around a long time. Not as long as like a liquid nail, but a pretty long time. So this is obviously a bigger tube, fits in a bigger gun, caulking gun. So this is a PL3X PL is a normal product that builders use. You know, they'll even use the term PL as as an industry term, like, oh, just PL it or just glue it down. So this is a premium construction adhesive, also multiple use, right? So there you go. That's your PL. Now let's see what it does. Let's read the back of it. Okay. Uh, let's see what it's for. Applications. Make sure surface is clean and free of foreign materials. Cut nozzle and pierce inner seal. And I'll show you how to do that as well. Now, what does this glue? Okay, works on wood, OSB, which is a outdoor sheathing board that you would use, also wood. Drywall, brick, concrete, masonry, stone, marble, granite, metal, vinyl, PVC, and foam board. So it is a very versatile glue, adhesive, very versatile. Now, I have my feelings on using this stuff, multi-purpose stuff on concrete. I think you should go with uh, a product that's specifically for concrete or pavers or gluing, uh, stones together, stuff like that. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure this will work, but you know, I'm particular about that kind of stuff, those products. So there's your PL. So what else we got here? All right. So here's another tube of silicone. I think we're good on adhesives. That's pretty much all you need. Oh no, here's another adhesive. Sorry. This is a PL again by Loctite, but this is specific for concrete. Polyurethane sealant, concrete, non-sag, foundation, walls, and masonry. So this product, right? This product is specifically used for fixing cracks in concrete. So, this will glue concrete together. I wouldn't particularly use it for that. I'd get a specific company, concrete company, you know, product. But this product is for caulking cracks, like in concrete. So it says foundations, walls, and masonry. So it's, like I said, a Loctite product, you know, polyurethane sealant. Let's see what's let's see. Works best for driveways, sidewalks, concrete walls, and foundations. Concrete walls and floors. So you got a crack in your concrete, you got a crack in your foundation wall, a non-structural crack, obviously. If it's structural, I would recommend you get a concrete guy in, cut out the section, fix it properly. But if you got a non-structural crack in your concrete, or I would recommend this product. So you know, some of these self-level. You pour it into the hole, and it would self-level. It's viscosity is enough that it would, if you just pour it into the crack, it'll self-level. You don't have to use a trowel or any sort of toolage. There you go. That's that. So actually, on the silicone end, right? Here's another tube of silicone. This is white silicone. It's by GE again, and like I said, I always recommend. And this says #1 silicone brand, which I think GE is the #1 silicone brand. Very trusted brand in so many products, but I would say GE is the best. So there's your GE silicone. This says tub and tile silicone, 100% waterproof, like pretty much all silicones. Um, Now it says same day water ready. That means, say you caulk the tub, then this is, like I said, this is for tub and tiles. If you caulk your tub in the morning, you could take a shower in the evening. So that's good. Uh, Shrink and crack proof. So you're not going to get shrinking. You're not going to get any cracking. Lifetime guarantee. We know that goes out the window for the most part. Nothing's lifetime. Um, Non-paintable. All silicone can't be painted. You try to paint silicone, it leaves streak marks. It's not a paintable product. So any silicone that says paintable, they're lying to you. You can't do it. So maybe spray paint may stick to it, but we're not spray painting our tubs and stuff, obviously. So this is white. This also comes in many different colors. Um, to match your tub surround or whatever. Most people use white to caulk this tub surround, but sometimes people have an off-white um, an off-white tub or an off-white tile that they want to use an almond color or a cream color or browns or blacks or whatever. So, but this comes in tons of different colors. So, and there's your silicone. You know, so you have, like I said, you have your outdoor clear, uh, and then you have your tub and tile. So there's that. So what else do we have? We did our liquid now. Put that there. What else we got here? Oh, here we go. So another adhesive is another Loctite product is Loctite 500. You can see it says landscape. Now, if I were to glue paving stones together or concrete blocks together, I would want to use a product made for that, right? Now, this says you can do it with this, but I wouldn't recommend it. So, this is a Loctite, you know, and landscape construction adhesive. All right, so let's see what they want to use this for, right? Great for block. That's center block, right? Brick, stone, use on wet or dry materials. So this is good. You know, I would recommend that you use it on a dry surface because it'll bond better. But this says even on a wet stone, it will work. It'll glue it. So make sure the surface is clean and free of frost. So obviously, if the block has been sitting outside or the brick's been sitting outside and they have ice on them, you're not going to be gluing them together. So don't do that. I would say let them dry. You know, this says no, but I'd say let them dry. Standing water and other foreign materials, cut nozzle and pierce inner seal. And there you go. So let's see what else you got here. So there's your landscape construction adhesive for brick, block, paving stones, etc. There's our adhesives, right? So now we're moving on to what the normal person would use. You know, the normal person doing work in their house would probably need to do this, pick this product up. This is by DAP. DAP has been around forever. It's on the price wise, it's on the cheaper end of uh, caulks. So I always buy this. I've used it a million times. There's no reason to buy a more expensive product when the cheaper product is just as good. So this says all-purpose acrylic latex caulk plus silicone. So this has some silicone in it, but it's also paintable. So it's a hybrid product, right? So it says paint in less than 30 minutes, so you can paint it. Now, a fully silicone product, you will never be able to paint, but this is like a hybrid product. So strong multi-surface adhesion, shrinks less for a durable seal, 100% waterproof, easy water cleanup, and low odor interior, exterior. This is, it says paints and projects. So it's like a home use, home use product. There you go. So that's that. This is windows, doors, and molding. You got to caulk, got to caulk a window, you got to inside, door, molding. There you go. And then this is the other one. This is another door and molding product by DAP, you know. So this is uh, Pro Painter's Formula. So this is specifically for painting interior walls. If you caulk your molding, you could paint. You could paint it without a problem. So this is fast drying latex caulk plus silicone as well. Paint in 20 minutes. Now I don't know. I mean, maybe that's accurate. I don't think you're painting in 20 minutes. I think you have to wait a little longer, but who knows? We could test it out and see. 50 years. Yeah, we know that. Crack resistant, reduced dirt pickup. Won't shine through the paint. Multi-surface use. Waterproof seal. Easy water cleanup and low odor. Interior use. So there we go. It's window door molding and trim. This is white. You know, if you're you know if you're painting your moldings, I would say use white because then you can cover it with any color you want for your moldings. So these are our interior molding caulk. I'll put that there. All right, so let me show you first of all how to open the tube of caulk and how to do stuff with it. Right. So let's start with our liquid nail. Right. There's our liquid nail. So we'll get our trusty caulking gun here. All right, standard caulking gun, right? So you push this little lever in, pull back, right? Take the tube, right? First, let's open it up, right? So take our knife, take our utility knife that we went over in our tool episode. There's our knife. Now you can take you could you could you could cut it open like this, right? Which is safer, right? Cut on a. Yeah, let's do that. Let's cut it on a piece of wood. We put down a piece of wood. We put our plastic tip on. We can cut it on a little bit of an angle. You know, cut it on a little bit of an angle. Right? See the angle? Sometimes I'll just go like this, put my thumb behind it, but I'm not. I'm not actually pushing it against my thumb. I'm pushing against the tube. So now that's open, but it's not fully open because the inside the tube is a foil seal up against the back of it. Now, some people will stick a screwdriver in there and clean it off, but the caulking gun has the device to pierce it in there. So on the back, on the front of the caulking gun, there's a little needle right here, right? And so what you do is you take that and poke a few holes in that foil packaging inside there, right? Obviously you leave a little bit of the glue on there. So then we stick the adhesive in the gun. Uh, you know, pull the trigger a little bit. I didn't squeeze it enough for it to come out yet because I want to clean the tip. So we'll take a paper towel, clean off the little piercing needle there, so we don't get the liquid nail all over ourselves. Fold it back. We folded it back. There we go. All right. So get rid of this. I like to keep some paper towels whenever I'm doing any sort of caulk. 'Cause it does get on your hands, and you wind up touching other products, and that gets on the products or the material that you're using. Okay. All right. So as you can see, as I squeeze, it starts to come up, right? See that? See, it's coming out. All right. So the funny trick about a caulking gun, right, is even after you stop squeezing, the product may still come out, right? Now, a lot of people don't know, in order to stop the product, the glue, the silicone, whatever product you're using, to stop it from continuing to squeeze out, because the pressure is still going through the tube, through this thing. You just press that button. That relieves the pressure. Now it won't come out. So there you go. So just to show you how you would glue a subfloor, I'm gonna kind of mimic that. So here's your joist, right? Here's your joist. And let's say this is my floorboard. So what I would do is I would put a little kind of S pattern on my joist, like that. There you go. Yeah. Again, stopping the flow. Put it down on my paper towel. So there's our joist, right? I don't know if you see that. There's our joist. So they would take let's see what we got here. So say this is our subfloor board, right? We would stick that down. Now obviously I'm mimicking a piece of plywood, right? So that would be a piece of plywood. There you go. We stuck it down, right? And we'll take our drill. And a lot of builders use nail guns. I would say you should screw your subfloor. Then you know. There we go. There you go. Screw the subfloor. Now it'll squeeze out some of the PL there. I mean the liquid nail. And there you go. Now over time, if the screws ever back out, the glue will hold it in, and you will prevent squeaks in your floor as you walk on your hardwood or something over years and years. There you go. Just move some stuff around here. So, what we could also use liquid nail for, or this product, the construction adhesive, or your PL. Let me get your PL here. Your PL, there you go. No, that's not it. Okay. Yeah, so it would be this. Be this stuff. That would a bigger gun. So this would here's a bigger caulking gun. This would go in the bigger gun. Just to show you. Same thing. Pull it back. You cut the tip off, pierce it. This also has the piercer. They have something on here that says the spout cutter, and you would stick the tube in and then squeeze it, and it would cut the spout. It never cuts it clean. You're better off using your utility knife to cut it. So this would stick in there. And pump. You would use this for your subfloor because you need a lot, and this has like double or triple the amount of glue or caulk than a traditional tube. So that's your bigger gun. Just really for reference. So I also want to show you like how you would caulk your molding, right? So some people would even use a liquid nail or an adhesive to glue the molding to the wall. Because normally you'd use a brad nailer, and you take the brad nailer and try to hit the joists with a piece of molding. So here's a piece of white molding, right? So I'm going to use this as a base molding, right? This is normally a door and window trim, but so it's cut perfectly to fit at the base of my thing, right? So what I like to do for my molding is I would like to also put a bead of liquid nail on my. Let me show you guys on my molding, also in like a S pattern, snake, pattern there. A little too close there. Okay, so we take our molding, we'd stick it to the wall, obviously cut the size, right? Stick it to the wall, and then we'd brad nail it. So now we know it's not going to go anywhere. Like there's a beam here and a beam here, and we just try to hit there with the brad nails, or try to hit the sill plate, the back. So there you go. I like to glue my molding also, so it's not going anywhere. Sometimes you miss with your brad nails. So after a molding is brad nailed or glued or however you want to do it, your molding should be caulked. Some people don't caulk their molding. It doesn't look as good. Stuff can fall behind there, dirt can fall behind the molding and the sheetrock. So what we're going to do now is I'll teach you how to caulk some molding. So obviously we're going to use a paintable interior latex caulk. So there we go. We're going to use that. Not a silicone. Don't use it. This has a little bit of silicone in it, but it's still paintable. It's not this. Can't caulk wood molding with that and paint it. It won't. It'll just streak. So we take our paintable silicone, right? Cut it, trim the top. I like to cut it a little bit of an angle. Right, there we go. There we go. Okay, we'll pierce it again with the poker of the like a thing. Pierce it. There you go. Stick it in the gun. What we got there? We get the trusty paper towel. Wipe off the little pierce things. We'll fold it back. There we go. All right. Pump it. All right. So let's move our trusty table so you can see. So what we did was since we cut the tube on a nice angle, right? You push it against the top of the molding. Pump oh god, too much. Pump a little bit. Put a nice small bead across, as you can see. Nice small bead. Remember, release it. Always release it. Right. You grab a piece of paper towel here. Scoop. Paper towel. And what you want to do is, just go across with your finger, nice and easy. Right. Take the excess, and just wipe it off. Nice even thing up there. Now, sometimes it comes out more than you want it to, but it's not the end of the world. And you just go across nice and neat. Take off any excess. There you go. Gives you a nice tight seal. No dust is going to get behind there. It kind of makes the profile look nice. And there you go. Yeah. A little glob there today. There you go. So you just caulked your molding. And once it dries, you paint it. Again, paintable interior latex caulk for windows, doors, and molding trim. All right, let me just clean up my mess. There you go. What I also like to use this for, and if you shot your brad nails, right, they leave little holes. Now, there's a couple ways to do things, right? What you can do is you could use wood filler and then sand it out. But you could also use this, right? So what I like to do is I'll take my trusty putty knife, right? I'll put a little bit on the end of my trowel, like that, very little. And if I have, let's say I have a brad hole right there, I just put a little bit on there, a little bit on there, just take it off, kind of like your compound, and it'll cover the hole nice. And when it's dry, you could sand it with a little bit of light sandpaper, and it works just as well as like a wood putty. You know, if you got bigger holes, then I would recommend the wood putty. Be better. So there you go. So that's pretty much it, and I hope that I was able to help again. DAP interior for molding, liquid nail adhesive for subfloor and gluing wood together. You got your landscape construction adhesive for brick and block. You got your uh, GE silicone clear for outdoors, waterproof, non-paintable. And then you got your interior tub and tile silicone. Um, Actually, you could use this outside too because it is a silicone-based product. White GE silicone for your tub and your bath and tile. You got your Loctite concrete crack filler for that, and then we have your PL. All-purpose premium construction adhesive for large jobs, subfloor, brick and block. But I would go with a concrete company for that. But there you go, and hopefully I solved the problem of you guys going into your Home Depot, your Lowe's, and standing in front of the 30-foot wall of tubes when all you need is a few of these brands, and all you need to do is just look at those little details, and uh, you'll know what to buy, and not have to ask somebody that really may not know. You will know, and you will get the right product to do the job correctly in your home. And that's it. That concludes our video on caulk. Before we go, I'd like to show you guys how to close tubes that are not empty for future projects. Now, it's very important. I mean, if you only use a little bit of your tube for your project, um, and you want to keep it for a future project, some people throw these out. Oh, why? You spent money on it. Don't throw it out. You may need this next week. You never know. So what I like to do to close it, there's many different methods, but what I like to do, I'll show you two methods. But okay, so what some people like to do, my father told me this, is he liked to put a screw, a long screw, in the top of the tube, and then he would take electrical tape and he would tape the tube up, right? Like to run the tape past the tip, right? Way past the tip, and then pinch the end. So essentially, what you're doing is creating a seal, because any of these products, any of these tubes and products and silicones, they need oxygen to dry. So you take away the oxygen, and or access to air, and they won't dry. The tube won't dry out. Now, if you don't do this, it'll dry. Some tubes come with a cap. You put the cap back on. I wouldn't recommend doing that. That cap seal, it will still dry up. Especially, it usually dries up in here, and then you end up having to cut it back and trying to get it to a less dry, you know, still soft form inside. But if you just do this, now sometimes you don't need the screw. If you just electrical tape it real tight up, squeeze the tip, make sure that there's no air going in it, and they'll last a while. But 6 months later, you could probably still use this. So that's a good way to seal up the tubes that you do use. Um, Here's another one. So I won't put the screw in there, but I'll just tape it up. Some electrical tape, run it around. Always go way over the tip of your caulking gun, of the tube, and squeeze the tip together, and there you go. You'll have it for your next project. Alrighty, there you go.